What is a bust? A bust, quite simply, is a player who doesn't meet the expectations that were set for him. A bust is also a player that was taken before players that would end up being much better than them. Sam Bowie taken before Michael Jordan, Greg Oden taken before Kevin Durant, and Hasheem Thabeet taken before James Harden. If a player is a bust, they get a lot of heat for it. They are often the butt of the joke. Now, there have been a lot of busts throughout NBA history. I could very easily make a 10-minute video listing them all off. But as you can see from the title, I think that the term bust is way overused. NBA fans as a whole are way too quick to declare a player a bust. I myself have been guilty of this. Let's first look at the most popular player to hate on this season, Lonzo Ball. Many people, including myself, called Lonzo Ball a bust based off of how he started this season. With his messed up jumper and his inefficiency with the hype that he received going into the draft, so far his case doesn't look good. But it's too early to call Lonzo Ball a bust. The player Lonzo was really compared to going into the draft was Jason Kidd. Now, to many people, comparing Lonzo to Kidd was blasphemous. Which, first of all, just as a side note, when you compare a young player to a legend, that is a compliment to the young player, not an insult to the legend. Comparing Lonzo to Kidd is completely fair. Kidd was a tall point guard who was a pass-first player. His jump shot wasn't good really until the end of his career, and he would stuff the stat sheet with assists, being ranked second all-time in career assists. Let me put this into comparison. Jason Kidd in his rookie season averaged 11.7 points, 7.7 assists, and 5.4 rebounds, shooting 38% from the field and 27% from three. In comparison, so far in his rookie season, Lonzo Ball has averaged 10.1 points, 7 assists, and 6.7 rebounds, shooting 35% from the field and 30% from three. So the comparison is not that ridiculous. Jason Kidd in the next season jumped those averages up to 16.6 points, 9.7 assists, and 6.8 rebounds. And I wouldn't be all that surprised if Lonzo had a jump in statistics like that next season. But people really like to view a player's success and potential in the short term. The long term actually takes thought and a little bit of educated guessing, so it's easier to just look at where Lonzo is now and judge his entire future career with just his first 30 games. Now let's look at the player who inspired me to make this video in the first place. My current second favorite player in the NBA, Chris Dunn. Dunn in his first season in the league was declared a bust pretty quickly. He averaged only 3.8 points, 2.4 assists, and 2.1 rebounds, shooting 37% from the field and 29% from three. But this year, on the Chicago Bulls, Dunn has jumped those averages up significantly to 13.9 points, 6.1 assists, and 4.7 rebounds, shooting 44% from the field and 34% from three, and Dunn has been arguably the best player on the Bulls this season. His mid-range pull-up has looked elite, he is good at attacking the basket, he's a lethal defender, averaging 2 steals a game, and he's had games where his three-point shot looks above average. The best part about how Dunn has played this year is his bad performances are far and few between. He is fairly consistently getting around 13 points and 6 assists every night, and he has only seemed to be going up as the season has progressed, so I expect his numbers to go up. Now, why was Dunn so bad in his first season? Well, in short, Tom Thibodeau. As much good as Tibbs does as a coach, he does a lot of bad as well. One thing he's really bad at is putting rookies into the position to succeed. Chris Dunn averaged 17 minutes in his rookie year, but that stat can be a little misleading, because in reality, Dunn would have one game where he gets 25 minutes and another where he gets 7. This type of inconsistency can really throw off a rookie. Dunn would go into games where he didn't know if he would be warming the bench or guarding Damian Lillard. And with the scrutiny that he quickly received from the media due to the high expectations of the Timberwolves, Dunn quickly found himself in the perfect storm to destroy his rookie season. But this did not stop many people from calling Dunn a bust. Go to any comment section of a Chris Dunn highlight video from his time with the Timberwolves, and you will see that the word bust is riddled all over the comments. Because like I said, people use the word bust way too quickly. Let's look at another case. Brandon Ingram. Going into the 2016 draft, Ingram was hyped to be the next Kevin Durant. His scoring ability was really the selling point for him going into the NBA. And after Kobe retired, Ingram was the guy that was supposed to become the next elite scorer for the Lakers. But in his rookie season, it's fair to say that he was disappointing. He only averaged 9.4 points, shooting only 40% from the field and 29% from 3. And that was after averaging 17.3 points on 44% shooting from the field and 41% from 3 in college. Generally, when going from college to the NBA, scoring players tend to keep up their average from college to the NBA if given the minutes. So of course, by mid-season, Brandon Ingram was a bust because he did not meet those expectations, because of course, young players aren't allowed to start off slow and eventually improve. NBA fans do not give players enough time to develop before calling them a bust. Hell, not every player in the league develops the same way. Jimmy Butler in his rookie year averaged only 11 points per game in his rookie per 36, because he wasn't getting minutes in his rookie year, so I used the per 36. It took him until his 4th season in the league at the age of 25 before he was averaging 20 points. Some players just simply take longer than others, and that really shouldn't be a problem. Now, in his 2nd season, Brandon Ingram has improved a lot upon his rookie year, and is looking to be what he was expected to be. 16 points a game, 5.3 rebounds, and 3.3 assists, shooting 44% from the field and 31% from 3, improving across the board. Once again, a bust proven to be just fine. And the most recent example of the overuse of the term bust, Markelle Fultz. Now again, Fultz looks bad so far. Emphasis on the so far. He hasn't looked good when he has played in the 4 games that he has, and he's been injured most of the season. In the 4 games Fultz played this year, Fultz averaged 6 points, 1.8 assists, and 2.3 rebounds, while shooting 33% from the field. Not good by any means, but Fultz was playing on a bad shoulder, and for whatever reason, the Sixers shooting coaches decided to change up his shooting form, which is really stupid. But Fultz was hyped as a scoring superstar going into the draft. He was pretty much the unanimous first pick despite the hype that Lonzo got. And Fultz was the unanimous first pick for a reason. He more than deserves the time to prove himself. When he comes back from his injury, and his shooting form goes back to normal, which I expect it to, I think Fultz will quickly knock that bust label off of his forehead. The use of the term bust can be so damn infuriating. It really is just a hating term. No one stops to take the time to consider the circumstances of a player's first few years in the league. Outside of just the first few years in the league, I think that the term bust is used too much for players such as Marvin Williams. Marvin Williams was taken over Chris Paul and Deron Williams in the 2005 draft. Obviously, Atlanta made a bad move with that pick, but I wouldn't exactly call Marvin a bust just because there were players taken after him that were better. Marvin Williams in Charlotte has become a poor man's Draymond Green. He is a very solid role player that could be a huge contributor to a championship caliber team if he was on one. A good defensive stretch 4 who can switch on to many positions on defense. Marcus Camby was taken over Kobe Bryant in the 1996 NBA draft. Was he better than Kobe? No, not by a mile. But he wasn't exactly a bad player. He was actually a very solid role player and the 2007 Defensive Player of the Year. Stop jumping to conclusions about NBA players' entire careers based off of their first few seasons, and stop labeling every player who has a rough start a bust. That's the end of this video. Please be sure to like and subscribe for more NBA content like this, and cue the outro music.